All right, good day. Um, I've lost track of days. I think this is session 11 because I, even as much as I wanted to commit to every single day, I'm already so far off that mark from being sick that I'm not going to worry about it. So here I am. And what I wanted to talk about today is um, the concept of letting go and what it means and what it doesn't mean. Because I know from talking to my husband and even talking to a friend that concept is kind of complex, and I want to clarify it for myself, and maybe if somebody ever listens to this, it will be helpful to you too. um, and yeah, so let's just jump right into that. So what letting go, I'm going to start with what it isn't. um, what letting go, and Michael Singer calls it releasing. What it is, and it has nothing to do with um, not taking care of yourself, right? So it's not like, oh, I'm going to let myself go. um, it's not about not caring for others. So, for example, if you have distress in a relationship with another person, letting go of what we're going to talk about, what it is not about letting go of care for that other person. It's not shutting down and turning off and pushing away. Um, and it's not about letting go of your preferences, right? So, if I want to have a close relationship with someone and they're distancing from me, I might be letting go of that clinging to needing to have closeness with that person. But that doesn't mean I have to let go of the preference of, if things work out that way and they want to be close, um, then great. And I can still appreciate that, or I could still make efforts. So what letting go is, um, it's letting go. Probably the most important thing is kind of what I would describe as a tight, anxious attachment to a particular outcome. And when we're really attached to something, we tend to ruminate about it. We tend to think about it a lot. We have a lot of stories around it. Oh, if this person won't be close to me, I can't be happy. We really, that it's this attachment that creates suffering. I can't be happy now until I get this thing, or I can't be happy now until this thing is gone out of my life. So it really, letting go has a lot to do with my internal experience. So it's really about letting go of feelings. Uh, Michael Singer would talk more about feelings and bodily reactions. Lester really focuses on wants and wantings. Um, and part of what both of them kind of remind you of is that I want this person to be close to me. If I stick with that letting go of the want is not letting go of that possible outcome. um, it's not letting go of anything tangible. It's just letting go of a felt sense inside that I want this, and without it I'm unhappy. um, if it's letting go of the feelings, I'm really sad, my girlfriend just broke up with me, I'm depressed. It's letting go of holding on to that sadness, that, oh, I won't be able to be happy until we get back together. Recognizing that that feeling uh, isn't the fact of being with her or not being with her. So in particular, Lester talks about the fear of death, recognizing that letting go of the fear of death, it has nothing to do with death. It's just a feeling. So I can let go of the fear of death, knowing that death is going to come for me whenever it does come for me, and fearing it does nothing, and has, if anything, it tends to drive us into tricky behaviors that maybe actually could hasten our death. So I think that's a really clear example. Letting go of the fear of death is just letting go of the fear. It's not inviting death. It's not pushing death away. It's not doing anything with death, because it's just a feeling. Um, and in particular, they talk about it different ways. I'm kind of liking the comparison between Michael Singer and Lester Levinson. Um, Lester Levinson would really say that um, It's about not tying your felt sense, your present state, to some future event, right? So it's like, I will be happy in the future when I have this much money in the bank. I will be happy in the future when I get this car. His point is, he's saying, your happiness has nothing to do with that amount of money in the bank or having that car. He says, if you can imagine it well enough, the amount of money in the bank or the car, you can actually be happy now, right? And so obviously, the wanting mind is looking for, like with money, it's probably security. With the car, it might be a sense of approval. But Lester's idea is that we cling on to things that are out there, thinking they're going to create a state in here. When if we can let go of those things out there, ironically, when we can get to a point um, of, of not attaching to them, we get the state that we're actually looking for. And so it's very much about letting go of needing to have things be different than they are right now. And in particular, this is where I think Michael Singer really sings. I found it really helpful because I'm trying to figure this stuff out as to how do I truly apply it. That if, for example, if I'm in distress, what Michael Singer would say is that it's actually our trying to get out of distress that is the problem. That our resistance to what is, which is, oh God, somebody just said something and it made me mad, and now I'm all tight around that madness, or they made me anxious and made me feel bad about myself, whatever it is. He would say that pinch in the moment, that contraction in the moment, is ultimately what you want to do is let go of the resistance to that, which is weird. It's a little paradoxical because you'd think it's, oh, I got to let go of the anxiety or the shame or the anger or whatever. And he would say, no, he basically says, like, create some space around that feeling and allow that feeling to be there. And that you're really opening your heart. He talks a lot about opening your heart. And at least as far as I can tell right now, opening your heart is really about opening up to your experience, opening up and allowing that felt sense to be there. And that when you can do that, that has you no longer holding on to the energy, pushing, because if I'm like, oh, I'm anxious, but I don't want to be anxious, how do I get away from my anxiety? I'm holding on to that anxiety, even though it doesn't seem like it. I'm trying to manhandle it. And he would say that the letting go is just relaxing with what is. Oh, I'm anxious right now. Um, and allowing that. And to the extent that these are blocked emotions, he talks a lot about that kind of a thing. To the extent that these are like blocked child parts, like for me personally, I was terrified. I thought I was going to be homeless as a child for much of my childhood. And so I can have a lot of anxiety around security, financial security. And so his point, I think, would be to relax around, if that anxiety comes up for me around my financial security, is to relax around it. And then he doesn't really do inner child work, but it's really, to me, it's very much like that a holding space is like a parent holding a space for a scared child, and just really allowing that to be present. And ironically, of course, a scared child, if a parent was able to sit and hold and be open with them, what are they going to do? They're going to calm down. And so by not trying to fight the feeling and by staying primarily body based, that's my sense of Michael Singer in particular, is really a body based process. By staying with that in the moment, and the sooner you get to it, the better. You can be with that feeling, and by being with it and opening to it and opening your heart to it, it moves. So that's kind of the paradox of it. And Lester doesn't, that's why I'm liking combining these two, is Lester talks a lot about squaring everything with love, but he doesn't really describe his process of exactly, he just did it, but I don't know about for you. For me, it's like, well, but how do you do that? Like, I would love to feel loving, um, towards somebody who's really angry with me or dismissive of me or whatever. Like I would love to just be able to rise above that, but I tend to get stuck. And so that's where I'm finding like Michael Singer's releasing, I think um, helps things move along, that maybe creates more space for that, for Lester's loving awareness. Um, so, and part of it for me in the letting go is really trusting that if I can get out of this tight, it really to me always feels like a tight energy, like very spinning, and my mind is going. And if I can get out of that state, I am definitely seeing, and I would have said this before, but I'm really having a very direct experience of when I can calm down, all of this resource, all of my resources come. And I don't know if they're mine or if they're, the universe, but I feel like when I settle down, then there's just such creativity around solving whatever the situation is that's sitting in front of me. I think it's no longer a problem, it's a situation, because that problem energy, that need for it to be different, has softened. Yeah. So, and I do have a quote, a Lester quote. Let me see if I can bring it up here. Lester said, and this fits, Michael Singer said the exact same thing. Lester said, every time you feel miserable, there is present an excellent opportunity to make a big step forward. So I think I'm going to try to, I think I'm going to title this episode, Making a Big Step Forward. Because if you are struggling with something right now, congratulations, you are here. You are going to work on this by learning to release and let go. And then assuming you can do it, even if just a little, you are on the path of discovering that the way out of suffering. Okay, so here we go. And as usual, I am going to, where's my Zoom? I'm going to take off my recording of the video, and we're just going to have audio. And I did mute my phone today, so we shouldn't have mindful bells going off randomly in the background. And other sounds coming from my phone, but you might hear some clunking of my shade in my office. So just allow that to be there. It's a chance to release and relax in the sounds. Okay, so sitting comfortably, just closing your eyes, taking a few slow, deep breaths, just letting it come in and out. And breathing in and out. And just recognizing that for the next few minutes, there's nothing to do, there's nothing to solve, there's nothing to prepare for, nothing to figure out, as best as possible, kind of holding that attitude. And so now bring to mind whatever you'd like to work on, whatever you think you're holding on to that is causing you suffering. Might be a relationship, or your health, or finances, or the future. And whatever, when you get that thing present, notice what happens in your body. Just scan from head to toe. Is there a tightening somewhere? Sense of pressure? A sense of urgency? Just notice in your body, notice where you might be feeling distress, contraction. And now, as best as you can, this is the first step, just try to welcome what's present right now. Welcome the idea that I don't need to push this feeling away. I can tolerate it. I can let it be here. Just feeling the contraction. Just noticing there really isn't anything wrong. Might not be a pleasant sensation, um, but you can tolerate it. You can survive this. And now we're going to try to make some space around that contraction. And we're going to do that by just opening your focus up a little bit, kind of widening the aperture of your awareness. Maybe your feet feel okay. Maybe the tip of your nose. Maybe you can let a little tension out of your shoulders. Maybe you can relax your jaw. Maybe you can take a breath and notice the contraction itself softens just a little bit. And just remembering we are not trying to make the contraction disappear. We're trying to make room for that contraction, whatever's there, while also making a little space around it, while also seeing it as not the only thing happening in awareness. And our second step is just asking the question of what's scary about just being here in this moment and relaxing in to this experience. And just notice if there's a fear that comes up. If I do nothing about this, if I don't think about it and fix it, I'll make a mistake. I'll get hurt in the future. I'll be abandoned in the future. I'll be unprepared and be embarrassed. Just noticing whatever might be scary about relaxing into this moment and allowing this sensation to be here. And just welcome whatever comes up. Ask yourself, can I allow this frightened, possibly protective part of me to be here? Maybe it's a younger part of me that needed comfort, needed to be seen, and never got that. And so now we don't need to do anything more than just be present with this sensation, with this fear. Just welcoming it as best as possible. And now the third step is really looking at what's the want that's underneath this contraction and this fear. Am I wanting certainty, security, control, guarantees, approval, love? Maybe you want all of those. But just notice the wants that really feel like they fit. Welcome those and let those be there. Allow yourself to feel that want in your body mind. For me, it a lot of times comes back to security. I want to be safe. I want to know I'm safe. And again, remembering that the wanting is not the thing itself. Ironically, like in my case, I'm wanting to feel safe. And generally, if I look in the moment, I am safe. I rarely, if ever, have actually not been safe, which is I'm super grateful for. And I've missed that a lot of my life because I didn't know how to do what we're doing here. So now going to the fourth step, which is where we really want to try a little bit of releasing and letting go. And if we remember that the wand isn't the thing itself, that the fear isn't the actual event happening, that those are just feelings and thoughts, see if you can allow yourself to release a little bit and not forever. Let's just deal with right now. Could I let this go? Would I let this go? If the answer is yes, ask yourself when will I let this go? And if the answer is no, that's okay. Notice that unwillingness and see if you can allow that unwillingness to release or let go to be there. You could even loop back in this meditation and go back and just welcome that. I want to just give you some thoughts to experiment with that are common. And just noticing how your mind and your body respond. I release the want a little. I release the want to know. I release the want to control. I release the want for approval. I release the want to be prepared for every possibility. I release the want for a particular outcome. Just rest now in the awareness of what just happened there. Noticing what you tightened up on, what you let go on. Just taking a nice breath. And the next step, considering the possibility of trusting yourself in the moment. A few more thoughts to experiment with. Maybe I can meet life as it comes. Maybe I can handle situations as they present. Maybe I don't have to be prepared for every moment in order to live it. Maybe I can trust myself to respond when the moment comes. Maybe my life would be fundamentally more relaxed and easy if I did that. Let those words sink in. And maybe the situation isn't the problem, or isn't the suffering. Maybe it's attempting to control and manage and outthink the situation that is the problem. And the final step is just to rest as awareness, just noticing that awareness is here, that there's a part of you that's just watching everything, that is always with you. And just take note of the fact that awareness doesn't need to prepare. And awareness doesn't need to fix. Awareness simply notices. So as best as possible, rest as awareness. The one who is aware of all that passes through your experience. Uncertainty, fear, wanting, controlling, but also joy and love and peace. So as Lester would say, let go and let go. Do your best to trust the moment right now. Do your best to be okay with not knowing. Do your best to trust yourself in the moment to meet whatever comes. Knowing that peace and freedom in life is in letting go. Okay. Bring my camera back on. Hopefully that was a nice meditation for you. I semi-did it with you and semi didn't because I had a script that I was working from because I wanted to remember all these pieces. But I think I'm going to like it. I liked the one yesterday, but there were some pieces of it that I felt needed work. And so, and not to mention my phone going off mindful bells and things like that. So I think I'm going to like it. And I'm really feeling like I'm starting to zero in on something between my Angelo retreat and Lester materials and Michael Singer. I feel like with all of those, I feel like I might be onto something, at least for me, if not for anybody else. So that could make my life way more peaceful, way more cool. So fingers crossed. All right. Take care. Have a good rest of the day. Bye.